Destiny 2 and Star Wars, two franchises I think would work really well together, so that's why today I'm going to be showing you all the best Destiny 2 fashion inspired by Star Wars from myself and members of my Discord. There will be over 50 unique transmogs shown, so be sure to watch until the end and let me know which transmogs were your favourites in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Destiny 2 fashion videos like this. And with all out the way, I'm going to be starting off with my Mandalorian Hunter fashion. So this is what it looks like. I felt that the Lucky Pants exotic is a perfect fit for the Mandalorian look. The shader Iron Bone is one I would highly recommend using because it gives plating that proper shine to make it look like Beskar, and as well as this, the shader has this sort of brown leather look for non-plated parts. Now the hardest part when making Mandalorian fashion in my opinion is finding a good helmet, because there really isn't much like it, so I found that the Solstice 2020 mask to be the best fit, though another great choice is the Unyielding Favor ornament as shown by Lil Majin. And then I also have one more Mandalorian hunt I want to show you all from FS Dogdad. They went with a different chest piece, going with the Wall Watcher, and this actually matches extremely well, mainly because of the leather straps that go over the plating, so really good find with this one. Now another character that appears in Mandalorian is Ahsoka. I have two very interesting transmogs which remade her Montreal horns in very different ways. You could see that Chobok used the Empyrean Cartographer cloak, which matches really well with the horns of the top, whereas Vanquish used the Cloak of the Exile, and this matches better with the lower side of the horns. Great picks from both, so really good job. Then next we have another Mandalorian fashion, this one based off Paz Vizsla from Spartan Jake. Amazing use of the hazardous propulsion and heir apparent exotic. The gameplay fits really well with the character, and also the helmet and shader choices are fairly accurate. Now moving on, for these next few, they will be based off another bounty hunter in Star Wars called Cad Bane. This first one from Captain Scott used the MPA Wheelwalker grips, which I think are perfect at recreating the look of Cad Bane's gauntlets. I also love what they did with the helmet, and that's why I wanted to create my own version of this with some slight changes with the vest and shaders, and this is what my version looks like. Then we have Ombres, which instead used the Pyrrhic Ascent to recreate the helmet. Very good choice because the helmet has red gems for the eyes which cannot shader, making it very easy to use in Cad Bane fashion. And here's another great example of this helmet from Grim Brother. I am now going to be getting into the Sith based fashion, with this first one from myself being based off Darth Malgus. I found that the shader Cruelty Son matches perfectly on plating, and I especially liked the Mask of Bacchus exotic as it looks just like the face mask. It's just a shame that we cannot shader the eyes on Bacchus anymore. We actually used to be able to, but Bungie updated the exotic to match the eyes with stasis. Now Businessman also made a Darth Malgus fashion instead for the Titan, and they used the Dominus Gaul mask to match the face, which to be fair is quite accurate. Now Embarrassed Peak based their hunter off Darth Maul, though it's the version with the robotic legs, which I felt was a great choice because the new Grievous boots are a perfect pairing. Ultimus Umbra made something similar instead with the Aphrasis Embrace exotic ornament, and you'll notice that they both used the Totem Breaker ornament from last season, which you will see used quite often as it's pretty much the closest pairing with Darth Maul's head. Now Alma made a Darth Maul Warlock, but it's based off the version from episode 1. The hardened Basilisk robes look perfect with this, and they in general look really good for Sith and Jedi fashion. Then we have Techno Viking, which made a Darth Maul Titan. Love how they recreated the markings with the chest plate and arms, and they even made fashion for Darth Maul's brother Savage Oprus, which looks just as good with this fantastic use of the Iron Remembrance gauntlets with the new Navigator plate. Then next I have my Hunter fashion, which is based off a Magna Guard battle droid. If you want to use an exotic, I would highly recommend the Aphrasis Embrace exotic with the ornaments The Wrong Hands. I think there is no better helmet that you can use with this fashion. I am also of course using the new Grievous boots, and to help flow it all together nicely, I am using the Warmind's Avatar vest, which just so happens to have a red glow in the middle to match the reference. I am Flame made Hunter fashion, which looks like Darth Revan. Great chest and arms combination. The helmet does a good job, but I felt the Iron Intent is a better fit, as you can see with my Jedi Knight Revan. I used the same arms, but the glow version instead to match the colour of their lightsaber. And speaking of Jedi Knights, here's what Grim Brother made for their Warlock. Now back to the Sith. The Press Doctor based their hunt off the 11th Brother. Perfect use of the Celestial Nighthawk exotic ornament. Praxis based their fashion off a different different Inquisitor, the second sister, and Grim Brother also made Inquisitor fashion but for Titan. Strider based their Warlock of Starkiller, especially like the use of the Beast Whisperer exotic ornament to match the sharp hands. And as for the helmet, the Iron Companion is currently the best choice. Now for any of you that wanted hunters to get a Kylo Ren ornament set, here is fashion from Ninja Inbox, which made their hunter look like Kylo Ren. Perfect choice of helmet, so really good job with this transmog. Now Techno Viking made a Sith Praetorian Guard Titan. Every part of this fashion is almost flawless, with the shaders and armor choices being really on point. Then we have Outs, which based their hunter off Darth Vader using the Dominus Gold mask. And finally we have this Samurai Vader from Vox, which is super unique and very well executed. I especially like the use of the Untethered Edge mark because it makes it look like there are lightsabers holstered on the hip. Now we are going to be moving on to the Stormtrooper and Clone Trooper fashion. Starting off with DPT's Samurai Stormtrooper. Fits nicely with the Samurai Darth Vader and is executed just as well. Brick Chaos made him in band Stormtrooper Titan. Love the use of Dead Orbit camo with this one, making it look all muddied up. Then here is my Sand Trooper Titan, which some of you might have already seen, but I felt it was worth showing again for anyone who hasn't previously seen it. Now we also have this newer one I made based off a Heavy Trooper. I wanted the gameplay to match the reference, so I am using the Sweet Business with the Actium War Rig exotic. Miss Hunter Stood based their hunter off the Ranged Trooper. Great use of arms and cloak to match the fur. Now Alma took inspiration and recreated this fashion for their Warlock. Fantastic use of the Dark Age overcoat and the new Kylo Ren hood. Now Chobok made their Titan similar to Captain Rex from Clone Wars. Even though the helmet isn't perfect, I still think it's a good compromise. Now Spartan Jake also didn't use the Stormtrooper helmet and instead used the Candescent helm, which actually works surprisingly well. Now Tac Jackal made, in my opinion, one of the most accurate transmogs of this entire video with the Galactic Marines Hunter. The cloak and use of an uncommon helmet is the main highlight for me, but the fashion as a whole just matches so well with the reference, and I think it's such a clever use of the Apostate's blade strides, making their hunter look like they are wearing robes. Then we have this very fun transmog from Guff based off the Beach Troopers from Lego Star Wars. Then we have one final Stormtrooper fashion which comes from Lord Kenpachi and is based off Captain Phasma. I did make my own version based off of this fashion because I felt there were better shaders they could have used, and it was a missed opportunity not using the Peacekeeper's exotic. Moving on, Alma made a very unique and interesting hunter based off an AT-AT Walker. The one leg does fit very well, it's just a shame that Bungie didn't make the right leg the same as the left, but I will say that the main highlight of this is definitely the helmet because of how close it is to the reference. Now I want to show you all my Yoda fashion. Yes, I did in fact make this. It's just a fun and goofy fashion which I think would be quite funny to die to in the Crucible. Anyways, moving on, Prophet of Future based their Titan off of Han Solo. Great choice of armor, just a shame that the helmet isn't always off and that the faces in-game don't look the best. Though there was still some really good helmetless fashion, like this Admiral Thrawn fashion from Nebula 87 and the Death Watch Obi-Wan from Wit 25. Speaking of Obi-Wan, here is Techno Vikings Clone Wars Obi-Wan Titan. Then Sayu made this incredible Luke Skywalker pilot fashion for their hunter. Amazing use of the atavistic idol cloak and Dimospawn mask. Alma based their hunter off of R2-D2, and to accompany R2-D2, here's Chobok's C-3PO Titan. Then we have this final droid fashion from Fuji, and they based their Titan off of BB-8. But yeah, that pretty much does it for all the Destiny 2 fashion inspired by Star Wars. I do have some extra fashion I quickly want to show you all. These are not inspired by Star Wars, but do use the new Star Wars themed ornaments. As you can see, we have this insanely good Ultron Hunter from Vanquish. Techno Viking made some very good cosplays with the new Darth Vader cape, with my favourite being their Batman Titan. And finally we have Arcane Hunter, which used the new General Grievous ornaments to make a Descendant Vex, as well as Julicious, which made a Soul Collective Vex. Anyways, that pretty much does it for the video. If you liked any of the fashion shown, then please leave a like and comment which ones were your favourite. And if you would like to show off fashion in future showcases, then I will have a Discord link in the pinned comment and in the description. Subscribe if you want to see more Destiny 2 fashion videos like this, and I will see you all in the next video.